Hi, you welcome to another episode on Trends with TMI. I remain your beautiful host, Mariam O. Idris. So today on the educational segment, we have a topic that our guests will say a lot about. And that topic is something you and I can relate with. So my people, when we go on this very short break, we're going to meet our guests. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Welcome back from that short break. So before we went on the break, we said we have a guest to talk about a topic which says role of parent in a child's education and lifestyle. Hi sir, can we meet you please?
Thank you. My name is Mustapha Idowu. I'm a science educator and I'm glad to be on Trends with Miriam Idris.
Sir, so can you tell us briefly about yourself, what you do for a living?
Years ago, I'm a science educator. I've been in the field for close to a decade and I realized that it's a passion that I'm willing to pursue and I'm not going to stop anytime soon. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Mustapha. So what has been giving you that zeal to want to keep doing it? You say you've been in it for a decade. So what has been pushing you to do more?
Okay, yes, thank you for that question. I realized that teaching is the only thing I could do without getting paid for it, right? I had a little experience back then in school. I don't want to go into that details now, but it's been a wonderful journey and it's something that I find joy and satisfaction in doing. So yeah, I'll do it.
Ask you a question. Do you do teaching for because you have passion for it or for the money that you get from it?
That's a very good question. It would be a disservice if I say I'm doing it for passion only. It's also for the pay, but teaching in this part of the world is underpaid, to be frank. So you need to know what to do to upskill yourself as a teacher and to increase your earning potential. So yes. So
thank you so much, Mr. Mustapha.
You're welcome.
So before we go to today's topic, let's just dive into something like an introduction. Now you know that our generation and the present generation, there's a lot of difference in it, in the education and the lifestyle. What actually changed in that? Can you just tell us, what do you think changed in it? Because we know it's really different, isn't it? It is. Because all the things that we did while we're younger, so many things are not happening again, right now. And it has affected so many aspects of children's education and lifestyle. So what do you think actually affected that?
This is a very good question. Two things here. I think first, information.
Okay.
20 to 25 years ago, information was pretty hard to get, and it made people or students at that time work harder to get information and appreciate their efforts, right? But if you fast forward to today, information is at our fingertips.
Yes.
You can get information anywhere just at the click of a button, and it kind of it works in a reverse. Psychologically, it works in a reverse direction for these children because they find information easy to get, they become lazy and mentally they don't develop the way we expect them to be. So I think information is key. Second, for the generational gap, I think it boils down to how these children develop and how in those days our parents brought children up.
Yeah.
Right. Now, children are brought up in different environment these days. Environment is a key factor, and the influence of the environment on children cannot be overemphasized. Right? So, I think those two things are the reasons why the generational gap is clear and is distinct.
Okay, Mr. Mustapha, the first question is, how do you believe parents can positively influence their child's education and lifestyle choices?
Thank you very much. That's a very good question. Influencing is a huge word on that in that context, but I'll bring it down to three things. First is presence. As a parent, you need your children to feel your presence. If your presence might not be the way they want to feel it, for example, if you're scolding your child, that's not the presence the child wants at the time, but it's still a presence, right? Because it's a required presence.
Exactly.
And the presence could also be on the flip side, if you positively influence the child by giving remunerations, gifts, all these things. So the presence is very, very important for a parent in the child's life and in the education as well, because without your presence, the child might not really be able to develop properly. Secondly is communication. You should not underestimate the power of communication. As a parent, you must be stern and also be nice while you're communicating with your children, because these kids, they want that communication at its best. And the difficult part is, as a parent, you cannot relax on it. If you do, it's dangerous. If you don't, it's also dangerous.
Very much for that. So you mentioned communication, you mentioned presence. Yes, that's very important. Yeah, you're actually right on that. Thank you very much, Mr. Mustapha. So the second question we have for you is, how can parents strike a balance between encouraging their child's independence and providing guidance in their education and lifestyle decisions? We all know that children have decisions. How do parents strike that balance between encouraging their child's independence and providing guidance in the education and the lifestyle choices? How do you think they can actually help out?
That's a good question. Thank you very much, Ms. Miriam. Striking a balance, parents need to always remember that, we are part of the curriculum. That's what I will start with. As a parent, you should always know that you are part of the curriculum. Now, curriculum is a highly misconceived word in the education sector, right? We always, when we hear the word curriculum, the first thing that comes to our mind is the four walls of a classroom. Actually, curriculum describes everything the child does or sees or hears from 0 years till the child leaves the parents' house. Right. And that in some countries is 18, in some countries is 16, in some countries is 21. So it differs, right? So that's the curriculum. Everything the child does or would do is the curriculum. So I don't see how parents will leave that out and see themselves as independent of that curriculum. Yeah. So if you're talking about striking a balance, first thing a parent needs to do is to see yourself as a part of the curriculum.
Yes.
Now the curriculum has 4 facets, if I remember, 4 or 5. First, we have the written curriculum, which is what the school is doing.
Yeah.
The second is the unwritten curriculum, right? And the unwritten curriculum are those ones that are not in the black and white, yes, but we know the children are learning it. Exactly. For example, you're a teacher, you're in the classroom, you're eating, and you sneeze, or you want to take water, or you are talking while eating. That's the curriculum.
They're learning from what you're doing.
They're learning from what you're doing.
True.
Do you understand? You're a parent and you don't wash your hand when you leave the restroom, the convenience, you don't wash your hand before you eat. Mm-hmm. The children are learning it. So that's what we call the unwritten curriculum. Now, the third facet of curriculum is the societal curriculum, where the children learn from the neighborhood, the friends, their peers. They learn from street hawkers. They learn from everybody around them. From the bus conductor, exactly. So that's the societal curriculum. I don't want to go into details about that. Now, the fourth facet, which I think also is very important, we call it the concomitant curriculum, and that talks about the morals, the religious curriculum. From churches, from mosques, all those things they learn in those avenues are also part of the curriculum. Now, the last one is the null curriculum, which is those things that are not included in the first 4 curriculums that were mentioned. Okay. So we categorize that as a null curriculum. So striking a balance means a parent needs to know everything about these curriculums and infuse themselves properly where that is appropriate for the child. So that's striking the balance.
Okay, so the last question for you now, so we'll not bore you with so many questions, is what is the benefit of open communication between parents and children regarding their education and lifestyle?
So thank you for the question. I would like to start by talking about Maria Montessori. Now, Maria Montessori was an Italian educator that created a whole new system of education, giving the child or the learner the power to choose how to learn.
Okay.
Right. Now, what that does in itself is to build confidence.
Very important.
And if you, as a child or as a teacher or as a parent or whoever, you don't have confidence, it damages a lot. Now, the difference between a successful learner and a learner that is yet to achieve, or a learner that is yet to fulfill potentials, is confidence.
Yes.
You can have everything in the world, and if you are not confident enough to prove it,
Exactly.
that's the end of it. So confidence is one of the most important benefits you get from communication between parents and child. Now, second thing is friendship, and I think that mirrors the friendship of the parents, because if the parents are friends, the children will naturally fall into that arrangement, right? They will naturally fall into that setting. So you need, as a parent, you need to work on your friendship with your partner.
Yes.
If you're not with your partner, if you're a single parent, you also need to work with your friendship, with the friendship with yourself.
Exactly.
Right? A lot of people, a lot of us, we go around with burdens of society and the economy and all these things. And we fight ourselves and we don't know it. So you need to be friends with yourself. And if you're friends with yourself, it radiates.
Yes.
And these children, they can see through things.
Exactly.
So they would know that you are in a good mental place, and they will learn from it. And other benefits we can get is growth. Of course, if there's communication, the family grows, the child grows, develops mentally, cognitive development, physical development, sensory development, all the development aspects would be complete. So I think there's a lot to benefit from communication, open communication between the parents and the child.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mustapha. That was a very insightful response. And to add to that, now when my dad told me not to study mass communications, I had this bad, should I call it bad feeling? I felt really bad about it, because even when I remember while I was in school, like I wasted years in doing what I don't like to do. Each time I see him, I'm like, he made me waste years in school, and I don't like what I actually did in school. But right now, it's just natural. It comes naturally. I can relate better. Like, after all, I'm doing what I want to do right now, and it's that happiness is just there. Like, I can always talk to him. There's no more bad feeling. Like, he actually made me waste years. No, we don't know why God actually made that happen. But we have to just thank God and keep moving and, fighting for what we really want to do in life. So that brings us to the end of today's program, and the topic, which is role of parents in a child's education and lifestyle. Mr. Mustapha, thank you very much for honoring our invites. We really, really appreciate your insightful responses. Thank you so much.
And it's nice to see you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so before you go, we have a gift for you from one of our sponsors, Drumroll. Yes, so Mama Keta must tell to give this to you. And here we have Gari Jebu. You don't need to go to Jebu to get Gari Jebu. You just have to get this for you and your family to enjoy. Groceries, okay, it said groceries. Yeah. And also we have rice pounder, the light healthy swallow for you and your family, for you to enjoy. And also one last surprise. Yes. Lastly, we have this also from market and all. That is yam flour. Elubo juju. Yes, for your amala juju, that amala thing you have to enjoy it with your yam flour. For Mama Kets and also is appreciating you for coming on the show. Alright, so that's the end of our show for today, when we talked about the role of parents in the child's education and lifestyle. And I remain your beautiful host, Mariam O. Idris. Until we meet again, it's bye for now.